black market essentially is it's a participatory work that operates via a phone app. So when you rock up as an audience member, we ask you to bring with you 5 items that you think you'll need to survive the global economic collapse. And so the work is kind of set in that kind of moment of it's all gone pear-shaped. And so the app itself, it has a marketplace, so all of your items are loaded onto the app, and you can trade with our traders who are based out on the streets your items for our survival services.
Yeah.
So we're basically kind of offering kind of key survival services or things that we think you might need to survive this kind of like shit hitting the fan kind of scenario. But they're quite playful, some are quite playful, some are quite dark, some are services that already exist in the black market. So we offer a porn service, we offer a stimulant service, but then also we're looking at things like, well, maybe we might need to relearn compassion or empathy, or maybe we need courage. And so we basically, all of these services are one-on-one interactions that you have. You choose a service that you want, you make your trade, and it allocates you a rendezvous point with one of our black market traders on the streets.
Black market is inspired by a number of things. I think one of the things we could say is that we were very influenced by how some of the economies in Europe bounced back from economic collapse. And in the research that we did, we found that it was very much at a grassroots level. It wasn't something that was driven by a government or banks, or it was actually they found a way to survive through creating a new exchange economy, which is
or gift economy.
Economy.
And I guess for us the interesting thing was that, you know, within that black market, that the realization that there are alternatives to a capitalist economic system, and that for us really got us interested, because it was like, well, I mean, if you look at a lot of neoclassical economic theory, it's kind of positing this idea of constant growth. But you can't have constant growth on a planet with finite resources. At some point, you know, you'll reach a tipping point. And so we were really intrigued by what happens when we reach this point, and that maybe there is entire global societal collapse. How will we cope? And can we look beyond this current system that is obviously failing us at the moment? But can we do it in a creative way, in a way that kind of activates audiences and gets them thinking about this idea?
If you succeed, you're going to have to let go of what you don't really need. We see the future, and it's time to change the ending.
This is so interesting because this work had its debut in Sydney last year, so we had an insight into what audiences might bring, and I can tell you now there are an awful lot of toiletries, condoms, tampons, all of that kind of thing, and in a way it was so overwhelming that they kind of lost their value. So it was those objects that were actually out of the ordinary that then increased in value, because the interesting thing about the work is that you don't really know how it's going to work each night, because you don't know what audiences are going to bring with them, you don't know what they're going to go out and where they're going to choose to kind of trade their items for which service. So it's all a bit of an unknown, which we find really exciting. But
it's so diverse, isn't it, what people bring along?
Look, there's a lot of weaponry as well. I guess for me, I don't know, maybe I'm a bit of a romantic, but there would definitely be a book. Because for me, I think, you know, that there has to be some form of escapism, and music would be, I don't know how or what device would be another thing.
In the context of this work, I would bring along a bottle of red wine.
You know, alcohol goes down really well with our traders.
I would bring in a deck of playing cards. Maybe a colouring in book, colouring pencils.
Like something to pass the time, to stop you from going insane.
To de-stress with.
A de-stressing thing.
Things like that.